Hello there. Hello there.
Hey, bud. Look at you.
Wow.
How you doing? Now you got the right shirt for the occasion. I don't have that kind of a
Yeah.
proper attire, but I'm impressed that you would come along with the Hawaii shirt. Can you hear me
Well,
good?
I can hear you. I'm looking forward to getting out there. I haven't been out there for a while, man.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on, right on. Well, it's going to be nice.
Look,
And first and foremost, a huge mahalo, gigantic aloha. Thanks for doing our off the road series we've been doing here, and great to have you on the show.
thank you, man. Thank you. Well, Hawaii is a special place for me, man.
Yeah, well, that's a good note, actually. Hawaii Memories, courtesy of Steve, the mystery emailer. We'll see just how special it is to you. According to Steve, and let's hope his stuff is right, we're putting it to the test here. In August of 1966, Young Rascals making their Hawaii debut, 5 nights, first teen fair, Blaisdell Exhibition Hall. Ticket price, $1. At least 30,000 people attended it over 5 days. What do you think? You got any memory of that?
Oh, of course I do. I've got memories of, we had the really, really good fortune of being extremely popular in the islands, on Hawaii, on Oahu, and I don't even know where to begin because I remember it vividly. I remember bringing my dad out there, who was part of the. He was out at the Hickam base or something like that when he was in the army, and he said, "Man, there was one hotel when I was here, and that was a pink one,
Right.
and the Royal Hawaiian."
Yeah.
When he saw it, and this was in the '60s, he went, "Oh my God, I should have bought land."
Yeah.
But that's only one of the memories. I mean, I have so many. Ohana, Ohana, Ohana.
Yeah, man. Oh, well, that's right on. So that first show doesn't bring up anything in particular, I'm guessing, but we had a good laugh on the dollar ticket. Second time around was 67, Blaisdell Arena for one show. Noel Harrison, son of actor Rex Harrison, opened. Anything unusual happen you remember that night?
No, I
Right.
don't remember that. I just remember a lot of the trips out there because we were very popular because of K-Poi radio.
That was it.
And so what we decided to do with the wonderful people of that station, Tom Moffat, etc., and a guy by the name of the Beard, is we said we're going to do island hopping. And in those days, there were no shows on some of the smaller islands, some of the other islands. So we did Maui, we did the Big Island.
Yep.
We went all around, and what they did is they declared like a day off from the plantations and from the sugar cane, and we did it mostly in the street
Wow.
because, and as a result of that, fans who were young guys and ladies at those days, I don't think they'll ever forget that, and neither will I.
Right, no, that's some special stuff, and yeah, and Steve noted in '67 also tours that brought you to Kauai, Maui, Hilo. You had the Birds one time opening for you at the Blaisdell back in '67 for a few shows, and thinking about some of the other cool things about you guys in addition to all these incredible shows, and you guys, like you said, had quite a history through the year '71. It looks like doing shows here in the islands, and then at least one more in 2000. But you also have this book that came out recently, Memoir of a Rascal, and Felix Cavaliere here from the Rascals. Cover photo courtesy of Linda McCartney. Now, tell us the story, because you've got some great stories. First, meeting the Beatles and Linda, any relationships that developed. I know you ended up in Ringo's band in '95, but take us all the way back to the beginning when it first happened, how you remember it, what gets you excited as you look back at that.
Well, again, there's so many stories. Basically, when I first started out, I was in college. I was a pre-med student at Syracuse University. Took a summer off with a band that I had called Felix and the Escorts. Went to the Catskill Mountains. At the Catskill Mountains, a group came in by the name of Joey D and the Starlighters. They saw me. They went to Europe. Their organ player quit. They called me up. Instead of going back to college, I went to Europe.
Nice.
Okay, now what is the important part of this? There was a group opening up for Joey in Germany and in Sweden. It's called the Beatles. So I saw the Beatles before they came to the United States, and it kind of like was an interesting experience for me because it kind of made my mind up to be a musician. because first of all, there were all these beautiful young ladies screaming and hollering. I said, this could be a great career. And second of all, I heard what they were doing, and I said, man, I can do that. Little did I know they were some of the best songwriters in the universe. But at that time, it looked feasible, and unfortunately, it was.
They were opening for you guys.
They were opening for Joey D's band, yes.
And there they were opening. So yeah, they were opening for you at that night, and incredible. So when you think about developing any kind of relationship with those cats over all of those times of getting to first meet them, what sticks out? Maybe you think of the Cavern Club. Maybe you think of something personal with one of those guys. That's like a.
Oh, yes. Yes, I mean, I toured with Ringo, as you know. I did the Ringo Starr All-Star Band, but I was mostly connected with George Harrison.
Okay.
Because of our kind of beliefs, we studied like with gurus. They studied with Maharishi, and we studied with Swami Satchidananda. And during one of our trips to Oahu, we brought him with us.
George Harrison.
Nope, Swami.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, sorry.
And he was on the radio, and he got some of the wildest questions you've ever heard in your life.
That's a good one.
It was great. Like, for example, Swami, what do you think about having more than one wife? Because, in a lot of Middle Eastern countries, he said, well, if you can put up with it and handle it, do it.
Yeah. And he was answering those on the radio here. You brought him to on your trip basically for shows here in the islands.
It was magic for us because it was such a special treat to have, a man like that with us.
Along for the ride for something like really. And when you talk about totally different kind of thing, but a musical guy, and he's got his own connections to Hawaii. Todd Rundgren's self-titled debut, he produced it. Any outrageous Todd stories you've got?
Not outrageous, just that I did an album with him, and he's an interesting guy. He's pretty quiet, he only speaks when it's needed, and we've had a relationship for many, many years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've known one another for quite a while, because of the fact that I was on the label that he was part of, Bearsville.
You ever hang with him on Kauai at his house out here?
No,
Okay.
I never had the good fortune.
You're in the Billy Joel video for Hey Girl. Explain getting to know him and share a fun Billy Joel story.
Well, I met Billy when he was a young man trying to, come up in the music business. And I kind of spotted his phenomenal talent in those days. And, I borrowed his drummer for a while. He had a drummer by the name of Liberty DeVito.
Right.
We've just maintained a relationship over the years, and when he works, he works in Madison Square Garden almost once a month.
Right, the residency.
Every time. And so when I'm in New York, he's kind enough to invite me over to sing, and I come over and do at least one song, either Come On Up or Good Lovin'.
Wow. And the first time, was there ever when was the first time you actually played with him over the years?
I can't remember that far back.
All right, it was a long time ago, you're saying, though.
It was a long time ago, and he was with a group called the Hassles, and as I say, I remember coming to see them.
Wow.
And I don't remember playing with him until actually he became Billy Joel.
Wow, so it was that early that and the same kind of deal I think about when you worked with the Sweet Inspirations. Did that ever and did that or any other time in your life did you get to meet Elvis Presley?
It's one person that I missed. Every time a group would come to Memphis, Elvis would invite them to his home. Every time the Rascals went to Memphis, he was on the road.
Okay, that happens sometimes.
I missed a good one there.
I know another one you didn't miss, though. You played with Springsteen once at the Tribeca Grill.
Yeah, well, as I say, the New Jersey commitment and vice versa. Yeah, I did a few things with Bruce, especially a lot of benefits. After 9/11, we did a benefit. I remember, and because a lot of the people who were unfortunately at that building came from the area and where he lives, Jersey. They take a ferry over to Wall Street. Right. So yeah, we did a few things together.
You enjoy hanging with him?
Well, hanging with a man like Bruce Springsteen is almost the same as hanging with Beatles. It's almost impossible.
Right, I get it. I get what you mean. Oh, it says so much. That's a great answer. I mean, you also did this other. I look at this gig as a huge one. I mean, you've done so much, as we've pointed out here, but Madison Square Garden, not far from where we're talking about, the Atlantic Records Show in 1988. So many bands were there, but one of the most unbelievable, one of the few Led Zeppelin reunions. They had Jason Bonham on the drums with the three surviving cats. What was that night like? Anything that sticks out when I mention that night to you?
Oh yeah, that was the 40th year anniversary of Atlantic Records.
Yep.
Wow. Average White Band. I mean, there were so many wonderful memories there. The Atlantic family was different from a lot of the other record companies. It was really a family. Until became like, until the late 60s and early 70s, it was a very close-knit, bunch of people, Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, Aretha Franklin. There was a kind of like a camaraderie there. And when they put that 40th year together, we all stayed at the same hotel, except for Zeppelin. And we I don't know why, but they didn't. And it was just, it was phenomenal. The music was great. The hang was great. It was just a wonderful event. And I think it's on DVD for those who might be interested in seeing it and hearing it.
Which one of those, you mentioned some of those Atlantic people and Aretha and stuff. Who do you remember like having the most fun with or reconnecting with, or an original era memory that it kind of sparked?
Well, I mean, at the studio, we had involvement with Otis. Otis is in my book. He came and tapped on the door one day and he said, "My God, they are white."
About you guys, about the rest.
Otis was he was a funny guy, man. I mean, the president, chairman of Atlantic Records was Ahmet Ertegun.
Yeah.
And Otis used to call him Omelet.
Omelet.
Omelet. That's the kind of atmosphere there was around there. It was so different from some of the other record companies, which are more corporate. This was a real. It really felt like a family. It really did.
That's fantastic. As we go to wrap it up with you today, the band was known, I read, for refusing to tour on segregated bills. You think of the climate in the country today, you think of maybe some of your experiences back then. A lot of people don't believe that there were concerts like that. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like you bear witness, if you can share any story of what that looked like if you saw one. I know it says here you never played one. What did that look like? Well, you saw some of this stuff, I assume. What was that like when they actually did something like that?
You mean having mixed shows?
Mixed and like a segregated.
It's unfortunate. The South, the southern part of the United States, was very different from, where I came from, which is the eastern part. I remember, when I was traveling down there with Joey D, who had a integrated band.
Okay.
I remember going to a gas station; they wouldn't give us gas. I remember going to a town; they wouldn't let us stay in the same hotel. But you see, the thing was that the music of those days, the radio stations of those days played everything. They played Motown. They played Peter, Paul, and Mary. They played the Beatles. They mixed and matched. They even played Tony Bennett. They played everything. And so why not have them at the concerts? Why not have all those acts at the concert? To make a long story short, that's what happened. A group came in, I think it was a Young Hope Trio, and they said, "Man, thank you so much. We never get to play for white audiences." And I says, "You know what? Thank you so much. We never get to play for black audiences. Why don't we get together?" So simple. Why can't it be?
Right on. No, it's such an inspirational thing. And you never, just for the record, did you ever see a segregated show where you were in the audience and actually got to see it and say, "My God, it's like it's segregated here"? Did you see it?
Yeah, but I mean, like I say, you just didn't know it at the time. You went to the shows, there's nobody there except for white people. Get the message?
They didn't have like a balcony that had all the African American people or something weird like that that you ever saw?
I mean, like I say, I grew up in the North. We didn't have that problem. We like music.
I get it.
We would go to a jazz concert, for example, Newport Jazz Festival. That was all mixed, and that was years and years ago.
In Rhode Island, you're talking about.
I talk of Rhode Island, you
Yep.
saw, like Bill Jackson, you saw like Miles Davis, you saw Coltrane, you saw Dylan, he
Nice.
came in and caused a lot of havoc because,
Electric.
but I mean, wasn't really, it was music, music is international, and which is one of the reasons I love to come to the islands.
And you bring it too, my brother. And favorite as we wrap it up, what's a song you'd like me to play on the outro here? And you can pick it. It can be whatever one of your hits. Could be grooving. Could be whatever you like to have on the radio.
Well, because you mentioned the climate of our world right now, how about People Got to Be Free? Let's do it.
Ah, you're an animal over there, and that's a great pick, man. Felix Cavaliere, Rascals, and he's back. He's coming through Hawaii first time in a while and making this appearance. It's going to be through Sunday at the Blue Note Hawaii, and giving you big hugs.
You made it so easy. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Ah, you're so welcome. That's how we do it, and I'm giving you a big hug.
Pleasure. And I got almost my entire family coming to the islands again. So, aloha, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
It's a family affair. Thank you so much, Felix.
Thank you, my friend. Aloha, everybody. It's Felix Cavaliere of the Rascals. And I am back in one of my favorite places. It's Hawaii and Hawaii Public Radio. But this quality is not free, folks. You may recall I was on with my buddy Dave Lawrence, and it was the Off the Road series. So help out and make it happen in the future. And here's how. And a big mahalo to you and yours.
I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. I used to go to Sea Isle City, Strathmere, Cape May, Ocean City. I ate my pizza on the boardwalk.
I just stayed at that famous hotel down there, the Biltmore, Hotel Biltmore, the one in town, and sorry, not Bilt, in Wilmington. The old
Oh, DuPont, Hotel DuPont.
DuPont.
Yep.
I did a show there, a private, for a friend of mine who's he's an investment guy down there. Had a big show there. That place is gorgeous.
It is. It is gorgeous. I got a lot of Jersey memories, Brigantine Castle, all that stuff. So giving you hugs again and high fives. And I'm really appreciative, Felix. And if you wanted to do a follow-up when you're in the islands, we could consider doing that. I could come by and do it at the venue if you wanted, over at the Blue Note or something. But I'm giving you a hug and thank you so much. We're so grateful that you do all the storytelling today. I hope you feel the gratitude, my brother.
I do, man. And thank you so much. And please, get in touch with Melissa and we'll hook up on the island. Can't wait.
You're the man. Stay safe, dude. Travel safe. Aloha.
See. Aloha.